I don't know if he's trying to second guess what they expect. I don't know what it is, but I wonder if Højbjerg is knackered because he's made mistakes in the last couple of games. This week he's made mistakes, 3 mistakes in 2 games.
Andy,
you know.
Andy, have you got anything to add?
Well, I think it's interesting that all 3 of you brought up what we all know is that our defensive unit is just a bit dodgy. So I think what Jose's doing is he's just switching and changing. When things go wrong, he tries something else, because I don't think what we've got in our back unit, our back defensive unit, is what Jose wants. I think he would like to change quite a lot of it. And when you see players like Dyer, Ben Davis, Sanchez, they're all shaky, all of them. They're just nervous and there's no solidity there. There's no confidence. So I'm not surprised he's changing it. The problem is he's not getting any consistency now.
But why are they nervous? Sorry, Jay. I mean, why are they nervous? Because they started the season quite well.
Yeah.
Dyer started the season. He's one of those ones that Mourinho talks about as being one of his trusted players. So
and he did the other week, last week, I think he said that. Yeah.
Yeah. So why are they nervous? Like, surely that's Mourinho's job to remove that. To help them to remove that pressure and to because they've gone from being confident and comfortable, and then to being nervous, which only can come from he should be the one that's taking the pressure off them.
I think it's because they're not his players. They're the centre backs at Spurs, apart from Rodon, who's a youngster, are all Pochettino players, and I just don't think they suit.
Well, Dyer, you can't say that about Dyer, because he's chased Dyer from when he was at Man United. He loves Dyer.
Yeah, but he's not performing, is he? He's still making mistakes, silly mistakes. We're full of mistakes.
But I'd say, we are making mistakes, but I'd still say that Dyer is a Mourinho player because he wanted him. Yeah, I mean,
he did want him, but does he really want him now?
What I can't get my head around is the Toby Alderweireld situation. I think we would probably all agree that he's probably our best central defender. He seemed to be onside with Mourinho, signed a new contract last year, and it looked all fine and dandy. He was a real pillar of the team sort of over those first 2 months of the season. And then for whatever reason, I think maybe as the game started to come thick and fast and Europe and cup competitions, and they needed to rotate just because you have to, he just doesn't seem to have got into a rhythm. And whether maybe Alderweireld needs a rhythm, I don't know. But I look at that situation and I'm staggered no one's asked it in a press conference at the moment, because it doesn't seem to be picking him. Certainly for like our big City away is probably as tough a game as you're going to get in the Premier League.
Yeah.
If it had been me, I could have understood it if he'd gone with Alderweireld and Sanchez, because Sanchez is quick. I get that. I understand that. Same with, I could see why Tanganga was in the team. He's a fast defender. If Reguilon was fit, he would have played. But Ben Davis is slow. Dyer is slow. Matt Doherty is slow, so he didn't play. So I don't know. I'm thinking Mourinho likes his defenders to know what they're doing. I think Steve touched on.
Yeah, totally right.
I don't think any of them seem to know what they're doing.
No, they don't.
Which is really surprising, because for 2 or 3 months of the season, we had the best defence in the league and really did look like we knew what we were doing.
Yeah. I still think we're in the top 3, aren't we? Defensive units in the league, but you'd never believe it looking at us.
Yeah, I posted something, was it yesterday or the day before, about the age-old adage of a great player doesn't make a great manager. Woz has just pulled a face there from
adage. It was just adage. I'm sorry. Where I come from, it's an adage. But maybe that's my South East London. But sorry, adage. Carry on.
Well, in South West London, we say adage.
We fucking do, I know.
You probably do in South West London, yeah. That's right.
Yeah, Wolfie Smith country and all that. But I posted about obviously the age-old adage about stop laughing, was you twat. About great players don't necessarily make great managers, but are we seeing the same with Ledley? Great player, does that necessarily make a great coach? I'm going to put you on mute now, or I'm just going to chuck you off the off the chat. Paul, what do you make on my cracking observation there? If indeed you've got any comments on that.
King on the coaching staff.
Yeah.
Always felt a bit forced to me. I think Mourinho loves his lieutenants. He's got trusted people he's worked with forever. And I get that the club wanted to maybe bring Ledley in, and perhaps it was part of the reason to soften the blow of Mourinho being the manager, perhaps.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'd pinpoint it at that, mainly because I'm not too sure, coaching-wise, how much day-to-day hands-on work Ledley has. I think he's there as a sort of sounding board for a lot of the players, and that sort of. I think Gianfranco Zola did it similarly at Chelsea. With I can't remember which manager it was. Should have done my research. I feel like he's there to be a Spurs presence, and
yeah,
I don't think it's a major issue, but I equally don't think it's probably something that anyone expected to happen, because I think we're probably all a little bit taken aback when it actually happened, because he'd been making decent and steady progress with the academy teams and things like that.
Yeah, I agree, Paul. I think it's interesting because it's a conversation that I had, I think it was yesterday, and I think it was on the back of your conversation, Jay, where, someone said, well, actually, he's got to be he's the defensive coach. There's no one's told you he's a defensive coach. Everyone's just said, right, well, because he's a great defender and he's been brought into the club, that he's been brought in as a defensive coach. He's not. They lost, like as you say, Mourinho has his lieutenants, and he lost a trusted guy at that point in the season who went off to go and do his own thing and become try and become a manager in his own right. So it made sense, obviously, to bring someone else into that unit, which was Ledley King, as you say, be that bridge between the Spurs fans that were obviously totally going to be against him for his background, and soften that kind of blow. But to make the natural sort of assumption that because he's an ex-defender, he only he's brought in just to work with the defence he's a coach. He was a coach. He's got his coaching badges. As you said, we don't know how much day-to-day involvement he has. But ultimately, you'd think that he'd be doing the whole, coaching in the round rather than, I think Mourinho was a goalkeeper, so that doesn't mean to say he works on goalkeepers, does it? It's a silly thing for the people just to assume that because, like, Ledley King was a defender, that's where he's going to specialise, in my opinion.
I think, honestly, based on Saturday's performance with our forward line, Ledley's been coaching the forwards prior to the Man City game. It was, we just seemed devoid of any ideas, and, when we got the ball in the midfield, at least going back sort of 5 or 6 months ago, 4 months ago, we just had that. We just, everybody, even watching the game, seemed to, and even the players on the pitch just seemed to know that, right, okay, we're going to sit back, we're going to defend. We were like a coiled spring ready to go. And as soon as that ball came to our centre halves, it was pinged out to Kane, and bang, everyone just went. Whereas now we just seem a bit confused, and don't really have any purpose or direction when we're going forwards. And I've just realised it isn't adage, it's adage. And I've been saying that in fucking
adage.
Adage. Do you know what? I've been in meetings with clients on big jobs over the last fucking 10 to 15 years, and I've been saying, the age-old adage, and everyone must be sitting there thinking, what an absolute prick. Who is he? Who is this bloke from Tooting that's turning up trying to say these big words that he doesn't understand what they mean, or how to say them? But anyway, I've just put Google on then, and where you could type in a word and it tells you how to pronounce it. I just did that on mute, and I was just like, oh, fuck.
Might have played it, to be fair. If he'd have played it, I'm not sure we would have seen Steve until tomorrow, because he might have collapsed.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously conscious of time here, and I've only got another half an hour to make myself look like a complete twat, which is plenty of time for plenty of slip-ups. But come on, were there any positives from the game, Andy?
Well, I thought we started it well. we tried to start it well, but
the kickoff was great. The way Lamela sort of rubbed the ball back.
I thought taking the knee was quite good. But no, I think as with the Everton game, really, we tried to start the game fast and be on the front foot, but just faded. And as soon as we conceded, the heads went down, and we just kind of got a bit lost in the game. And City were in total dominance.
Are we still, Andy? We're still on a positive there, mate.
Well, yeah. I was trying to be positive, but I just drifted into the negative.
I think we touched on lots and lots of different things, but I think that against City at home, we were flying. We trusted our system. We had confidence in our players. Yep. We were playing well. They believed in what they were doing. We didn't really attack, but we didn't need to. We controlled the game. And I think we all thought, look, if we're going to play like this, then fine. We understand it, especially when you have people like Kane and Son who can be such a threat going forward, whether it's at pace or whether it's taking a shot early or whatever it might be. But now we seem to have gone through a period of months and matches and whatever has gone on off the scene, where we went into a game against Manchester City where exactly the same system should have been played and trusted because it works, and it works against the City team that sort of let I think it was West Brom get a point up there in doing things a certain way, but we don't seem to know what we're doing anymore, and I think that's probably the most worrying aspect.
I think we've been found out as well, haven't we? We've been found out in the sense that a lot of it goes through Kane. We know that. Not much is going down the flanks. So City knew that if they get to Kane really quickly, they can block off the balls. And they're really good at that. They're really good at working hard and intercepting passes. And just nullified what we were trying to do going forward. So
I don't think we tried to play the same way, like, as you say, as Paul said, that when we played them the first time. So, this whole sit in, be compact, and then counter, that wasn't in evidence. We didn't really sit in, and we didn't try and counter. And I think the problem, I don't know if Mourinho is, and I'd be very surprised if he is doing this or if the players are reacting to this, but the negative feedback from the pundits is making them think, well, we need to play a different way. If that's the case, I'd be really surprised. But you'd expect that against the likes, the big teams, the likes of City, where it's proven to work, Man United, where it's proven to work, the Arsenals and Liverpools, that we would bank in, have a low block, and be organised and look to counter. And then when you've got possession, like against, I don't know, West Brom or Sheffield United or whoever, these other teams are not, as fantastic going forward as, like, Cities and all that, then we could afford to be a bit more expansive, because we now proved against, for example, Everton, that going forward we can score. So we know we can do both sides of the games, but it's just about working out or, deciding which games we're going to adopt which system for, and I don't see that happening. I think that's the surprising thing for me, that we haven't decided, well, that's our system for that team, for the big teams, and that's our system, when we've got more, we're going to have more possession. Just quickly, obviously, before you move me off, my positives were, and I'm going to put it out there, because
I was just about to come to this, actually. Go on.
What's that? I was going to say, well, my positives was Bale. Now, I know everyone thinks that he's been shit and a waste of exercise or waste of adventure or whatever, but I think actually he had a bit of a cameo in there that proved that he can still play, and he just needs to be played. I personally think that Mourinho should be playing him, and if he'd been playing him more often, we'd actually see someone that was at a level that we need for this time of the season. I don't buy into the fact that